hopefully she'll hop in. How is everybody?
Good, thank you.
Good. So today we're going to burn off the blahs. That's our topic for today. And this is inspired by the sister science to yoga called Ayurveda. So if you haven't heard of that, it's basically the system of medicine that is practiced in places like India. And it's kind of a very holistic approach to health. And the main premise of it is that everything that's out in the world is also present within us, specifically the 5 elements. So we have earth, water, fire, air, and space. And so each of us has a different kind of proportion of each of those things according to the principles of Ayurveda. So some of us are more fiery, some of us are more earthy, you know, some of us are more airy, spacey, and it's all, you know, depends on a lot of like, you know, the foods we eat, the parents we had, the place we grew up in. All these things can influence what our constitution is like. And then, so I'm just trying to give you a quick primer. This could be a whole like workshop, but the seasons are also associated with the 5 elements. And so depending on what your constitution is and what season you're in, you might have more symptoms or more imbalances, let's put it that way. So someone who's more earthy, watery, this is the time of year that you could have more imbalance. So someone who's more fiery would have more imbalance in the summer because you already have heat and you put heat on top of someone who's already very hot, right? So this is like earth and water. I'm going to read you quickly read you the attributes to what this means. So earth and water is the kapha dosha. So every person has a dosha. And maybe I will do a workshop on this. So you guys can learn what
you should.
Yeah, I think I will. Because then you guys can learn more about your own constitution. And you can do a quiz if you want to look online, do a dosha quiz and find out. But kapha dosha, it's cold, wet, heavy, dull, slow, smooth, could be soft or hard, like mud, like dried out mud or like heavy mud, steady and static, cloudy, liquid, dense, and gross, as opposed to subtle, not icky gross, okay? And then in the body, it gives us things like our compassion, our contentment. It helps us sleep deeply. So if we have lack of earth and water, we might not sleep well. Stability in our minds, nourishment for our body tissues, lubrication, moisture in our body. So if we're very dry, we're probably not a kapha dosha. Our sense of smell and repair and regeneration in the body. If we're imbalanced in this, we might have slow digestion, stagnation, constipation, a lot of mucus in our bodies, clammy skin, wet cough. These are all like imbalances. Skin tags, difficulty waking up, wanting to take lots of naps, a foggy mind, depression, stubborn, congestion, difficulty breathing, feeling heavy all the time, and just difficulty getting motivated and getting started. So if we have an imbalance in the kapha dosha, those are some of the things that we might experience. And all of us are kind of more prone to some of those things in the winter, even if we're not a kapha dosha. So we might just feel a little heavier, a little slower, can't get motivated, we're cold all the time. So this is a practice that's supposed to help us get out of that blah kind of heavy feeling that we might get in the winter time. So if you have a strap, that would be useful for today. And we're not going to use that till later in the practice. Blocks, probably, you know, we might use those. We can get away without them if you don't have them. And maybe a blanket for under your knees, because we're going to do a bunch of stuff on our knees today. And then I'm going to mute everybody, and I will meet you on your mat. All right. Any questions, by the way? Quick questions. I'm going to get started, though. Okay. Well, I think I will. I'll work on a workshop for this so we can talk about it more. Great. So I'm going to go ahead and mute. Yep. And I'll see you on the mat. Okay. All right. So we're going to start on our backs, and you just might want to have a pillow under your head. Let me just tap that screen quickly. Okay. All right. So either your feet flat or you can have your legs out straight, whatever feels better for you. And then just go ahead, place your hands on your abdomen and let your back rest onto the ground. And start to focus on your breath, letting that breath come into the belly. So with your hands on your belly, it's a good reminder to have the breath come down lower into the body. And we're just going to continue with a breath practice for about a minute, just to get the body prepared for our practice. And this also can help us clear our minds, settle our minds. If we have more air and space quality in our constitution, it can be really hard to settle our minds. We might have a really active mind. So the kapha dosha, earth and water, are very grounding that can help us calm our minds. So let the body feel the support of the ground underneath you, just to help calm and settle your system. Go ahead and take 3 more breaths. And by the way, I sure hope I don't lose power because it is crazy windy where I'm at. So if I do, just be patient. I'll try to reboot and get back up, but hopefully we'll be okay. Last breath here. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and take the legs out straight for a moment, as long as that's okay on your lower back. You can always put a roll blanket under your knees if it bothers your back to have your legs straight. And let your arms come down at your side. And we're going to start to cultivate feelings of lightness in the body by doing a little bit of kind of starting to lift the body away from the ground, as if we could float away from the ground. So just follow my cues. On your inhale, I'd like you to let your chest lift away from the ground, as if there's a string pulling your heart up. You'll feel your shoulder blades lift, your arms get heavier, your head gets heavier, and your heart is rising up toward the sky. And then slowly let it come down as you exhale. Now, for me, that pillow under my head is no longer feeling good, so I'm going to take it out. Let's try that 2 more times. As you inhale, lift through your heart, let your arms get heavy, and you're just letting that heart lift up toward the sky. So kapha dosha holds a lot of congestion in the chest, so we can often get congested this time of year. So working with the chest area is really helpful to break up chest stagnation. 1 more time. Inhale, lift that heart away from the ground. You're in a baby back bend. And then exhale, slowly release and melt into the ground. Good. Now we're going to do something similar with the arms and legs. So on your next inhale, let your arms slowly float away from the ground and bend your knees. Let your knees float away from the ground, as if your arms and legs were going to float up toward the ceiling. And then slowly as you exhale, let everything relax and come back down to the ground. And we're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, the arms and you're not going to lift the legs. You're just going to lift the knees and lift the arms as high as you like. And then exhale, float everything back down. So normally, I really like to work with earth and water. Do that 1 more time, because it is grounding for our system. But at this time of year, we might be a little too grounded. We might be a little too stagnant in our energy. Might not be exercising or moving as much. All right, go ahead and release. Take a breath here. So we want to get everything feeling a little lighter in the body. Let's bring the knees into the chest, give them a squeeze, and you're going to rock a little bit side to side. And then we're going to try a roll up. So roll ups can be challenging. So if it's too much for you, you can roll to the side and come up. But otherwise, you're going to rock and roll on your spine a few times. And maybe eventually you can roll all the way up to sit. And if that's too much, just go ahead, roll to your side and come on up. So the sun's in my eyes. It's that time of day, so I apologize if I look a little washed out here. And do the best I can. So we're gonna come to sit, and you're gonna bring your feet out in front of you on the ground. With or without a blanket or pillow under you. I'm gonna go without. Okay, I'm gonna turn this way so the sun's not in my eyes. Bring your hands in front of you. Actually, let's grab a block if you have one. If you don't have one, you're just gonna bring your hands together, and you can just bring your hands, you can clasp them or do like a namaste hands. If you have a block, we're gonna use the block. Okay. So find the tops of your sit bones, press your hands into the block. Inhale, lift your chest up. And as you exhale, take your block over to the right. Good. Inhale through center. And exhale, take your block over to the left. So we're doing a little twisting. And just repeat that a few more times. So twisting starts to bring heat into the body. And if we want to cultivate the opposite of earth and water, which is a very cold feeling, we'd want to bring in a little warmth, right? We want to cultivate the opposite in order to bring balance to our system. So when we bring a little heat, a little fire, that can dry out all that congestion. It can help break up stagnation. One more time on each side. And know that anytime something doesn't feel right, you're welcome to modify or pass. All right, go ahead and let that block come down. And then we're gonna come into a cross leg position. And here's where you might wanna sit up on a prop. If I'm gonna come closer, maybe I can get that sun out of my eyes. There we go, okay. So just sitting up tall, maybe putting a support under your sit bones. And we're gonna do a little breath work here again before we continue. All right, so if your knees are uncomfortable, you can always put some pillows under, or you can take your legs out as well. So starting now to breathe in and out through your nose, and we're gonna put that little resistance in the back of the throat. This is called Ujjayi breath. So inhale through your nose and feel a little constriction in the back of your throat as if you're like fogging a mirror. And then exhale again, feel this little vibration in the back of your throat. And we're gonna do that a couple more rounds. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Still feeling the belly up as you breathe in and breathe out. So Ujjayi breath is said to also help warm the body and calm the body. That little bit of restriction actually warms the breath a little bit more as it comes in. Very slowly letting the breath come out, and just do one more cycle. And we're going to change this to a breath of fire. So some of you have done this with me before. If you haven't done breath of fire, it's a powerful breath practice that helps bring warmth into the body. It breaks up stagnation and creates clarity of mind. I call it like natural caffeine. So to do this breath, we're going to be putting our hands on our belly. We're going to take an inhale, and you're going to sharply exhale through your nose like a hard puff. So inhale, and then out through your nose, like a snap of your belly back. So you might want to clear your nose if you have any congestion. And then we're going to start to do that a little more quickly. So it'll go like this. We're going to inhale, and then we're going to do 10 rounds. And then inhale, pause for a moment, and then exhale. Okay. So if you have any questions on that, feel free to unmute if you're not understanding, but it's a rapid like snap of the belly. The inhale just happens on its own. It's very passive, and you're exhaling sharply as you pulse the belly. Okay, let's try another round. So inhale and begin. Inhale deeply. Hold the breath for a moment. And then exhale out. Good. We're going to do one more round. And this time, we're going to try to do it if you can with your eyes closed. When we finish the 10 rounds, we're going to hold with the eyes closed and focus up towards your brow center. So yogis call it our third eye. So you're going to focus in and up. And when we focus in and up, this is like energy moving up. So this is a good thing for our practice today. So 10 rounds, and we're going to do it with our eyes closed, hold for a moment, and gaze inward towards your third eye. All right, here we go. Last round when you're ready. After your 10th round, inhale deeply. Hold the breath out, look up toward that third eye. And when you're ready to exhale, exhale all the way out. And just notice the effects of that little breathing practice on your mind and body. So sometimes you just feel a little more alert, a little more clear in the head. And sometimes we do get a little lightheaded. That's okay, it'll pass. Just we're not used to all that breathing sometimes. Okay, so now we're gonna do a seated cat-cow, and I'm gonna leave it up to you how powerful you wanna make your practice. So you can really, make this like a kind of faster practice, which is gonna build more heat. You can keep it a little more gentle if you want. So this is gentle yoga, so I want you to work at the level that feels right for you. So we're gonna bring our arms up like a goalpost. And we're gonna inhale, take the arms back and let your chest come forward. And as you exhale, you're gonna push your arms forward and round your spine, rock back toward the back of your sit bones. Inhale, arch the back, pull the arms back. We're opening that chest, and exhale, push forward. Now on your own, inhale, exhale. Now you can make this faster, like the breath of fire, if you want to make it a little more powerful, or you can keep a nice slow, steady pace. If you get that lightheaded feeling, slow it down, and that will pass. Good, 2 more. And then release. Good. All right, and then switch your legs. So the opposite leg is in the front. Widen out your sit bones, and we're going to do something similar, but this time we're taking it into a twist. So we're going to inhale in the center, exhale, twist to your right, inhale center, and twist to your left. Now, you can keep it going at that slow pace, or we can make this faster, in which case we inhale, exhale. Inhale to one side, exhale to the other. So that would be going a little faster as long as you don't get dizzy, no vertigo. Otherwise, inhale center, exhale to one side. Okay, I'm gonna leave that up to you. If you're doing it quickly, you're inhaling to the right, exhaling to the left, because we're gonna switch it up. Breaking up stagnation in and around our rib cage. And now come back to center and rest, release. So just kind of feel that energy you're building now. We're going to do it again, and this time either staying with that slow pace, or those of you who are doing the faster pace are going to inhale left, exhale right this time. Okay, here we go. Arms up. And you can either inhale here and exhale to the side, or inhale left, exhale right. And you can go as slow as you need to, or you can speed it up. It's totally up to you how you do this. One more. Back to center, and then release. Good, let those shoulders relax. You might want to roll them out a little bit. And again, just observe and notice how you feel. Okay, so we're going to come to all fours now, tabletop. And here's where you might want that blanket for underneath your knees. So I'll give you a minute to get there. Left my notes over here. Okay, so lining up your knees under your hips and your hands underneath your shoulders, hands, shoulders distance apart, spread through your fingers. And then we'll repeat our cat-cows here. Inhale, exhale, round your spine. And repeat. Inhale, look up, little arch to your spine, exhale, round. Now you can continue at this kind of slow, gentle pace, or you can start to speed it up a little bit. So it'll get a little more fiery. So it's an inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So on your own, go ahead and do a few more at whatever pace suits you today. And you might even try making your breath a little more powerful. So nice strong inhale, strong exhale. Maybe a little contraction of the belly muscles as you round your spine. Let's only take 2 more rounds. We don't want to overdo it. And then we're going to come back into a child's pose. So child's pose, we take our knees apart and then let the arms come down and either rest your head on your hands or let your arms come forward. And just rest down for a few breaths because we're going to be spending a little more time on our knees. If you need to get off your knees, you could always come to your belly or to a downward facing dog if you need to. One more breath. All right, so go ahead and come back up into your tabletop pose. And we're going to work on our balancing table, but we're going to do it more in succession with the breath today. So you're going to take your right arm and your left leg off the ground and reach and then release. So the inhale, we're going to lift. Inhale, arm and leg. Exhale, release. Now again, you could speed this up if you want. Most important thing is that you feel safe in your body. I don't want anyone to, rush it so much that they don't feel safe. So working here, it's okay to build up a little bit of heat. It's good for us at this time of year, right? Usually we're kind of really chill, but it's good to break a sweat when it's this cold outside. Also helps our bodies move toxins. All right, release that. And then this time, walk your hands a little forward of your shoulders and take a brief down dog. Get off your knees and bend one knee at a time and pedal out your feet. We're going to come back to our knees for one more group of exercises. Knees down to the ground. Okay, so you might want to just take a break off your hands and watch for a moment what I'm going to do with this next series. So I'm going to take my left shin a little bit over to the left. So it's like a kickstand. And then take my right leg back and bring my right hand onto my hip. This is called side plank. So from here, we might lift that leg. We might reach through the arm, or you could keep it down. Totally your choice. Here's the next thing we're going to do. With that top arm reaching up, 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 we're going to get lighter on the bottom hand. Lighter, 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 until we come up to this position, which is called gate pose. And then we're going to side bend towards your straight leg. And then we're going to come down, cartwheel your hands down, back down to the ground. And we're going to repeat that. We're going to open up into the side plank. We're going to come up. We're going to side bend. And then we're going to come back down. Actually, let's just come to here. That would be fine. All right, so let's give it a try. I'll talk you through again in case some of you didn't try it with me yet. Take your left shin to the left. Take your right leg back. And peel your right arm up toward the ceiling. Good. You can stay here, or we could try lifting that right leg for a little bit, get a little lighter, a little floatier. Reach up through that top arm. Now we're gonna let that leg come down, get light on your fingertips, and slowly come up. Gotta use a little core strength. And then you're gonna bring that right hand down, reach the left arm up and over your ear, and you get a nice stretch through the side body here. Good, let's come back down, hand down under your shoulder. Top arm can reach up. You can keep your right leg on the ground or float it up. Really engage that top hip if you lift that leg. You're using the side muscles there. Foot comes down, peel up, and side bend to the back. And one more time. Hand comes down. Maybe the leg floats up, maybe not. Whatever feels safe for you. And then foot comes down, hand gets lighter, come up, and then side bend to the back. Good. Cartwheel your hands down. This time, come back to tabletop pose and pause. And I'm going to turn around so when I do my other side, my back is not to you, but you're just going to go right to side two. So now right shin comes out to the side, left leg comes back behind you, and we're going to come up into the side plank. Lift that leg up. Engage the side of the hip if you want to lift the leg, totally optional. And then slowly peeling up and reach toward the back. Into your gate pose, and then hand comes back down under your shoulder. Reach that arm, maybe float the leg up. Reach, reach, reach to that top arm. That'll help you get lighter on your wrist. And then float yourself back up. And reverse. One more time. Good, and then we're gonna come all the way back down into that tabletop pose. From your tabletop pose, take an inhale, lift your chest, and as you exhale, lift your knees and move to a downward facing dog. And this is just a transition. Walk your hands back to your feet. Remove your knee blanket if you had one. And we're going to bring hands to the thighs or the hips and press all the way up to stand. And then we'll come into our mountain pose. Standing nice and tall. That's it. All right, yeah, I know, I can't see everybody. I see some legs, I see some heads. Good, good. Okay, so we're gonna inhale, reach the arms out and up. Interlace your palms and press the palms up toward the ceiling. So we wanna get as long as we can through that side body, breaking up stagnation that we might be, like if we compress, a lot of times when we're depressed, which is a symptom of the imbalance here, we collapse. So really lengthen through the side body and let's side bend over to the right. And then inhale, come up and side bend over to your left. Inhale, come up. And as you exhale, we're going to fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, reach the arms all the way out and up. And exhale, release your arms at your sides. So we're going to do that 2 more times through with the side bends. Now, if it's hard to reach the floor, you can use your yoga blocks, or you can also just bend your knees to get to the floor. So if you have the yoga blocks, you can always grab those and put them in front of you. Okay, inhale, arms up, interlace your palms, press the palms up, side bend to the right. Inhale, come up, side bend to the left. Inhale, come up, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Always have a micro bend in your knees as you fold forward. We don't want to lock our joints out. And then inhale, we're going to rise up. And exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, arms reach. Interlace your palms, press up, side bend right. Like a crescent shape. Inhale, come up, side bend left. Open up through the rib cage, make space for our breath. Inhale, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway, hands up on your thighs. Exhale, fold forward. And then inhale, we rise up last time. And then release, arms down at your side. Okay, we're gonna widen the feet a little bit. So you feel nice and steady. Keep the knees a little soft so they feel like they're a little bouncy. Arms are gonna be at your side, and we're gonna start to twist and swing through the arms. So just let your arms swing. You wanna let your legs be loose, let your hips rotate with you. If this bothers your knees, then just do it less. Bend your knees more if it bothers your knees. Now you can start to tap, make fists and tap, particularly in the area of your lower back. We kind of hit the area of the kidneys and adrenals, which is the dominant organ system for this time of year. Our kidneys and even our bladder are also related to the water element in our body, right? Elimination in our kidneys, water element is in our kidneys, as well as our life force is in our kidneys. All right, slowly start to come to a stop and let your arms come down at your side. Again, just kind of notice that residual effect of that work. And then we're gonna step the legs and feet back together about hips distance. As you inhale, we're gonna just lift the heels off the ground, come up onto the balls of your feet, and then exhale, heels down. You can hold onto a wall if you need to. Inhale, lift your heels, exhale down. Now we're gonna add on to this. Inhale, lift your heels. If you're balanced, take your arms up overhead. And then lower down. And again, inhale, lift up. You can always have one hand on the wall if you're doing this. And exhale down. Now, last challenge to add on to this is to now look up as you lift your heels and raise your arms, because that draws energy up. Energy moves in different directions in our body. One of them is up, and that just helps us feel more uplifted and kind of beat those blahs. So inhale, lift your heels, lift your arms, maybe look up. If you're too unsteady, look straight ahead. And then arms down, heels down, gaze comes back down. Two more like that. Inhale, lift. Look up if you can. Hold it if you can. And release as you're ready. So you can always go at your own pace. Now, this last time we're gonna add on, one more time, we're gonna come into chair pose after we do the lift. So inhale, lift up. Look up if you can. And now keep your arms up, keep looking up, lower your heels, bend your knees, and come into chair pose. Send your hip creases back so you feel the weight is in your heels. Good, and then release, coming to stand. So chair pose is also called fierce posture because it just kind of feels fierce, but we're using the big muscles of our legs, the quads. And the quads have a lot of heat in them. So when we use our quads, we feel that burn that creates that sense of fire in the body, right? We feel that. So let's do 2 more rounds. Inhale, lift the heels, reach the arms, maybe look up. If you can, keep looking up or look straight ahead. Heels down, chair pose, bend your knees, send your hip creases back. This time, throw your arms back behind you like a big sweep. Good, come back up through chair. And now we're gonna come right back into the next round. Lift your heels, maybe you're looking up. This is your inhale. Exhale, heels down, sweep your arms back behind you, and then back through chair. Inhale up. One more time. Exhale, heels down. Sweep your arms. Good. Inhale, come up. Last time. And then heels down, arms down. Take a break. All right, holding it here. One more breath. All right, so we're going to come back to chair. Bend your knees. Put your hands on your heels of your hands in your hip creases and move those hip creases back. You should be deepening into the hip creases right here where your pants kind of bunch up. Move your sit bones back and then tone your belly. And now lift your chest a little higher, but keep the bend in your knees. And now we'll reach the arms up. Inhale here. Make a fist and pull it back behind you. Good. And again, inhale, make a fist, pull it back behind you. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, like you're just throwing away whatever you want to get rid of. Clear it out, cleanse it out. Hold your chair, 1 more breath. And then we're going to release and come up to stand. All right. I see what time it is, so we're going to need to get moving on. Let's do a couple of warriors and then we can move down to the ground. So let's step the feet apart wide. Turn your whole right leg to the right. Left toes in a little bit, widen your heel, and then we're going to bend the right knee and come into warrior 2. Arms are out to your side. You're going to look over your right fingertips. Pull the tailbone down, lift the low belly, lift the chest. Holding it here. Let's do 1 more breath. Good. Now inhale, straighten your front leg. Reach your arms up, maybe gaze up again like we did earlier. And then exhale, arms down and look over your right fingers. Good. Inhale up, straighten the leg. And now exhale, kind of a sharp exhale and come into it. Good. 2 more rounds. 1 more. Good. Hold it here. Bring your left hand onto your hip and bring your right forearm onto your thigh. Take your top shoulder and roll it back. This is called side angle pose. The pelvis kind of tips towards your back leg. And then we're going to take this top arm and drape it behind your back, which opens up the chest and the collarbones. Part of what we're working on today is helping the body move lymph. So when we're really stagnant in our bodies, our lymph can get really clogged up, and that's not a good thing. We have a lot of it in here in our collarbones and in our chest area. Now, if you're steady, maybe look up toward the sky and take that back shoulder back more. If that doesn't feel steady, look ahead or look down if you're really feeling unsteady. Last breath, feel that burn in the thigh. And then we're going to come up to warrior 2 and straighten that leg. Give it a little break. All right, hold here another breath. And then we're going to take the left leg, turn it out. Right leg, turn the toes in, widen the heel, and bend that knee, arms out, and look over your left fingers. You want to feel light and lifted through your chest. Reaching out wide through the arms. So another quality of this kapha dosha is being really condensed and kind of like heavy, condensed, contracted is the word. So I'm going to reach out the arms wide so it feels expansive. All right, inhale, reach the arms up, straighten the leg. Exhale down, nice sharp exhale to come down. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale up, exhale down, nice and strong. 2 more times. Inhale up, exhale. Last time, inhale up, and exhale. Good. Back hand to your hip, left forearm onto your thigh, and tip your pelvis toward the back leg. Roll the top shoulder back. And then we're going to take that top hand and drape it behind your back. If you can, it like kind of hooks in your hip crease. Depends on how long your arm is. And then we're going to maybe look up, pull the shoulder back, widening the collarbone, maybe bend deeper into your knee. Also helps here to pull your tailbone in a little bit. That gives you steadiness. And release. Inhale, come up. Warrior two. And we straighten that leg, parallel your feet, and then step it all back in and shake it out. Good. Okay, we're going to come down to sit now. You might want to find that blanket again, or pillow, whatever you've got. And we're going to need our strap. So grab the strap and bring your feet out in front of you. Oh, let me see. You guys are going to need a loop in your strap. So if you don't have a strap, you can still do this. You don't have to have a strap, but it's helpful if you have one. Have a loop in the strap that's maybe about as long as your thigh bone, from your hip to your knee. That should be pretty good. And then keep that off to the side. Okay. From here, drop both knees over to the right and scoot your feet back. You're kind of sitting on your right sit bone, and your left shin rests in the arch of your right foot. And if you can't quite figure that out, just drop the knees toward the right, and you don't have to have that shin stacked. So if you can, the shin of the top leg rests in the arch of the foot of the bottom leg. Now, I'm going to be taking a twist. So let me show you guys this for a minute. So the twist is going to be to the right. And we're going to take this left hand behind our back like we did in that warrior pose. And I'm going to put the strap around my left leg with that loop big enough that I can grab it. Okay? So put your loop around your left shin and thigh. Make your loop big enough that you can catch it when you put your hand behind your back. Those of you who don't have a strap are just gonna stick your hand behind your back and you can still do it. But if you have the strap, it is helpful to pull on it, okay? So let the strap go for now, but keep it in place so it's ready to go, okay? All right, so just like we did in the beginning, inhale your arms overhead, interlace your palms, press up. We want to decompress the spine before we come into this twist. So really lift up tall. And now as you exhale, we're going to come into the twist. Bring your left hand to your right leg and start with just your right hand behind you and lift your chest. Inhale, and as you exhale, turn a little more towards your right. Now you can certainly stay right here working this, or you're going to take that back hand, your right hand behind you, either tuck it into your hip or grab your strap. And then once you have the strap, you could pull on the strap, and that opens your collarbone on the right side, opens your chest, opens the collarbone where we have that congested lymph. To accentuate this, press your left hand and your right leg into each other, and that'll help you turn more. Turn your belly to the right. All right, you can stay here, keep breathing, or take your gaze and look forward. That's it. So you're looking towards your left shoulder, and that might be enough, or you're going to tip your head over your left shoulder. And as you do that, you're going to get a bigger stretch, perhaps, in that right neck, shoulder, collarbone area. Let's hold here for 2 more breaths. As you inhale, really notice the sensation in your collarbone area. Now to come out, first bring your head back up. Let go of your strap. Inhale, and as you exhale, unwind back to the center. Very good. Okay, let's try the other side. So bring your feet in front, drop them over to the left, and then see if you can rest your ankle or your shin in the arch of your left foot. We're going to put the strap around the shin and the thigh. Have the tail coming back behind you. Make sure the loop is big enough, test it out, that you can grab it. Might be different on one side than the other. Sometimes one shoulder is tighter. Okay, so give me a moment to get that. I'm resting toward my left sit bone now. So you're just a little bit off center. And if any of this doesn't feel good, you could also just kind of do a cross leg twist. That works too. Okay, let's inhale the arms overhead, interlace your palms and press up. Create length through the spine. And then we twist. So bring right hand to left thigh and bring left hand behind you to start. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, turn. Turn from your belly. You can stay here or reach behind you. See if you can get that strap. You might need to use your other hand to help you find the strap. Good. And now inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull on the strap a little bit. Turn from your belly. And then maybe press your hand and thigh into each other. Right hand and left thigh, press. And notice how that helps you turn. You can always stay here or look forward over your right shoulder and perhaps tip your head over that right shoulder. Feel that extra little tug through the left shoulder, the collarbone, and the neck. We're going to take 2 more breaths. As you do, notice the sensation in the neck and collarbones as you inhale. You feel like you're helping to release those tight tissues there. Ready to come out. First, lift your head, let go of the strap, and slowly unwind and come back to the center. And then we'll take the strap out and take the legs out. Okay, if you have some props, we're going to use some now. We're going to sit on either a blanket or a pillow. And then we want something under our knees. So we're going to take a blanket and roll it up like a log and put that underneath the backs of our knees. Now, if you don't have props, you can still do this. Just keep your knees bent instead of having a support underneath. So we can use household items that you have around. If you're going to be coming on a regular basis, you might want to invest in some props for yourself. You can always email me if you're new to class and you're not sure where to get props. But you can certainly use blankets, pillows, what that you have around home. You can even grab a scarf to use for a belt, or a regular belt would work too. Okay, so we're going to come into a forward fold. We're going to inhale the arms overhead. Interlace your palms and press up, lengthen just like we've been doing. Root your sit bones down, lift your ribs, reach through your arms. Let's gaze up for a moment. Take another breath. Good. Now bring your gaze forward. Release your palms, but keep the arms up. Inhale here, and as you exhale, come forward any amount, hinging at your hip creases. And you might not go all the way. That's okay. Once you just go as far as it feels good for you. Inhale, come up, and exhale, come forward. So we're using our back muscles here to help us support as we come forward. We're also stretching through our hamstrings. 2 more times. Exhaling as you come forward. Maybe each time you might be able to come a little bit farther. That little bend in the knee helps protect your lower back. Now this time we're going to release. So come forward to where it feels right for you, and then let your hands come down onto your legs, your ankles, or your feet. And one more time, we're going to inhale, lift the chest, look up, and then exhale, you're going to soften and fold forward. And then we'll stay here for about a minute or so, just letting go. when we're in a forward fold like this, we're compressing a little bit into our abdomen and into our belly, which is said to help heat up the area of our chest where we get that cold stagnation in the winter time. So fire is said to reside in our belly, according to the principles of Ayurveda. It's what helps us digest our food. So when we compress that, it's like a pressure cooker, right? It's going to get warmer, and that lets that heat come up toward our chest. So go ahead, take 3 more breaths here. And if folding forward is aggravating for your lower back, you can also just stay upright. See if you can get a nice full breath, even though you're compressed. Maybe bring some breath into your back body, into that kidney adrenal area. Last round of breath. All right, so we're going to very slowly start to come up. Take your time, let your head come up last. And when you get to vertical, you can go ahead and pause for a moment. Good. Okay, so we're going to come down onto our backs. So if there's anything you want for your final resting, your shavasana, grab what you need. Like if you want to cover up, if you want to add on your layers, put your socks back on, all those kinds of things. We're going to do a few more things, and then we're going to have a nice guided relaxation practice. Okay, so coming down, and just hug your knees into your chest when you're ready. A little rock side to side. And then let's go ahead and take the knees apart and just circle the knees around. And you can circle them in the same direction or the opposite direction, just to relax the lower back here. And then go the other direction. If you're going to the right, go to the left, or if you're opposite, just go the different direction. Good, and then bring those knees back in. Hold behind the backs of your legs, and then draw the knees wide. Let them drop out to the sides. Let your shoulders drop to the ground. Let your tailbone get heavy. And now see if you can bring your feet to face the ceiling, coming into a happy baby pose. If it feels good for you, you could hold your ankles or hold your feet, or you could stay with your hands behind your legs. What we don't want to do is get all rounded in the back, so best to hold lower than to kind of get all congested again in the body. All right, bring those knees back in. And then we're going to take the legs straight up toward the ceiling, separate them about a foot. Let the knees be soft, let the feet be soft. And then arms up, let the hands kind of drop. So this is called seaweed. So I want you to feel very loose in your joints. Let your eyes close and maybe sway a little bit. Or you can just be still and let your body have a natural fluctuation and movement. So kind of getting a floaty feeling here, like you're floating in the water. Getting that feeling of lightness again. Holding here one more breath. And then we're going to bring those knees back in nice and slowly. Squeeze them in towards your chest. And then let's find your shavasana. So you let your legs come down, maybe a rolled blanket or pillow under your knees. Cover up if you are cold. So I'm going to be coming up, but you guys, I'm going to give you a minute or two just to settle. So take your time and adjust anything that needs adjusting. Make sure clothing is nice and smooth so it won't, bother you while you're in your Shavasana. And let the body release into the ground. So at first, kind of a feeling of heaviness. So in order to experience lightness, which is what we're going for, we first have to feel heaviness. So feel the heaviness of the ground beneath you. And then we're going to work a little bit against gravity. So I'm going to imagine, as I call out different parts of the body, that this part of the body defies gravity and starts to kind of have a floaty feeling, maybe like a hollow feeling of the bones, so you feel lighter. So we're going to start with your limbs, and you're not going to lift them this time. You're going to let them be on the ground. But what would it feel like if the arms and legs got lighter? If they could defy gravity? What would it feel like if those arms and legs were so light, hollow like birds' bones, so they can fly? Feel lightness in your arms and your legs. Now feel the same sense of lightness in your heart space. As if your heart were floating above your body. Let the heart feel really light. When we're imbalanced in our kapha dosha, our heart feels heavy and sunken and depressed. So let your heart be light. As if it could defy gravity. Now feeling that same sensation in your head, the heaviest part here. What if your head could get lighter, feel like it were defying gravity? Maybe finding that same sense of lightness through your eyes. Now feeling it in your whole body. What if your whole body could defy gravity and get lighter? Get more open and expansive rather than contracted and heavy. Let the body be light, like those hollow bones floating you. You have this really light sensation throughout the whole body. And imagine as you breathe in, you're breathing in lightness, air, and space. As if your body were filling with all these qualities of lightness. And as you exhale, imagine yourself dissolving into that exhale. Do that 3 more times. Inhale, lightness into your being. And exhale, dissolve into your exhale. 2 more cycles on your own. And then letting go of all manipulation of the breath, all of the visualization, and just let your body simply be in this place of rest and lightness. I'm going to take 1 more minute here, so continue to rest. All right, so you're going to start to come back to awareness. Let your body be grounded again. So feel yourself on the ground. Feel the solidity of your body and your bones. So coming back to earth, so to speak. And then you can start to have some deeper breaths, move around a little bit, fingers, toes at first, maybe stretch it out. And take your time to eventually come over onto your side. And then pause there for a moment. So if we come up too quickly, we really disturb our system, all the relaxation we created. So you want to pause here and have a slow transition. So take your time when you're ready. Press into your hands, use your arm strength to come up to sit. And we're just going to take about another minute or so here to sit nice and tall. Let your hands be face up if that feels comfortable. That's a little more open, a little more airy, a little more uplifted as opposed to down. And then you could close your eyes, lift through your chest, lift through the crown of your head. Or you can always have a gazing point if you wish to have your eyes open. We're going to come back to Ujjayi breath. So as you breathe in and out through your nose, just find a little constriction in the back of your throat. Sometimes called ocean breath. You'll feel a little vibration in your throat, maybe a little ocean sound. Still feeling up into the belly as you breathe in and breathe out. So conscious breathing also helps direct our lymph through the deep channels of our chest. So it's like a little pump when we do conscious breathing. When the belly inflates, the diaphragm has moved down and it starts to compress and massage the organs of the lower body. And this is really beneficial for, the organ body to get that little stimulation. We're not breathing correctly. We breathe only in our chest and we don't get that stimulation of the diaphragm descending. Take a few more rounds of Ujjayi breath, and if it starts to feel comfortable for you, add a pause at the top of your inhale and the bottom of your exhale. And that pause can be as long as you wish it to be. Let's take 3 more rounds. So there's a lot of benefit in those little breath retentions. It can help us build energy, good for our health. And it also draws out the breath a little longer. Which the yogis say our life is measured not in years, but in breaths. So if we breathe incorrectly and too quickly, we can shorten our lives. So we want to make sure we're breathing well. And hopefully buy ourselves a little more time. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring our hands together in front of the heart space. Inhale deeply, let the heart lift a little higher. And as you exhale, bring your head to meet your heart. We bow here to close our practice. Thank you so much, everyone. Namaste. Thank you, guys. Want to unmute, you're welcome to. How do we feel?
Awesome.
Warm.
Good. Good.
Yes.
It was a heat, yeah, definitely a heat building practice today.
Very good.
But
Really
it's
nice.
good to get that heat. Yeah.
Oh,
I
so
have
good.
a quick question for you guys. So I'm going to start putting the Zoom links in the newsletter. Is it helpful for me to still send it to you guys, the regular group, like so you have it as a reminder, or are you guys good? I don't mind doing it. I just don't want to bother you with too many emails.
It's fine, whatever.
The newsletter is fine, so you don't have to do it twice. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then
Either
I'll
way.
just put it in there. And if I see people starting to forget, I'll start to send out the reminders again. But for now, I'll just put it in the newsletter and then you guys can find it there. And then Sunday is the workshop for Destiny and Dharma. I know some of you are coming. So it's more of a philosophy class. We're going to do some journaling and work on creating our intentions and what's called the sankalpa, which is kind of our soul's intention, our soul's purpose. So it's going to be really cool. I hope some of you can join me then. I know a few of you are signed up, so thank you. All right. Yep. Any questions, guys?
No, that was beautiful. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.